this is the leader of Pan-Africa, which is Dr. Joseph Motanga. His interview where he said a lot of things concerning what is going on in Nigeria and then the issue between Biafra in Nigeria. So in this video, he explained a lot concerning Nigeria and concerning the maltreatment, the injustice, and the way the Nigerian government has been treating the Biafran people. That time have come for the Biafran to be liberated. And in this interview, he said a lot of things. He explained a lot of things. I would like you to watch the video to the end. Don't skip any part of it. He's the leader, the chairman of Pan-African, and also the ECOWAS body. So he explained a lot concerning what has been going and the reason why Nigerian will never remain as one country, and the time have come for the country to be divided, for African Union, ECOWAS and UN to come in and to make sure that Biafran is being free and Nnamdi Kanu is also free. That the kind of judgments that happened during Nnamdi Kanu and the Omotosho ways of his judgment is a sign to show you that Nigeria has also a failed state, is a failed state, and it cannot work as one country. And the kind of judgments Omotosho judge and the sentence Nnamdi Kanu life imprisonment and all those things is a sign to show you that Nigeria is a failed state and that Nigeria cannot work and cannot remain as one country. That they are fighting every means and they are make sure that African Union and other world leaders look into what is going on in Nigeria, and that is what they are doing now. And in fact, he explained a lot of things concerning the real thing that is happening in Nigeria and the things that have been going on between the Nigerian government and between the Biafran and also Nnamdi Kanu also. So sit by, don't skip any part of it, try to watch it to the end so that you understand everything that is going on in this video.
Now to West Africa, the region continues to grapple with a complex mix of political transitions, security threats, democratic tests, and human rights concerns. And our regular commentator who's watching events in the region, as always, is political scientist and conflict resolution analyst, Dr. David Matsanga. So good to talk to you. So good to have you on the program. Welcome.
Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Africa. And good morning, the entire world listening and watching us.
Fantastic to hear your voice. So, Dr. Matsanga, let's start in Guinea-Bissau. Leading presidential challenger Fernando Diaz has declared victory before official results have been announced. What does this tell us about the political climate in the country, and how concerned should we be about possible instability?
First of all, I want to state categorically that Africa has not reached a stage where one man, one vote is worth it. Where one man, one vote, apart from South Africa, Ghana, and perhaps the other West African states like Liberia, political party of one man, one vote in Africa is becoming a nightmare. There is nowhere in Africa where you have found the voting goes smoothly except South Africa, where you have seen physically myself, where people vote and go back home. So this one declaration is because of failure of institutions. It's failure of institutions in Africa to conduct elections, to conduct free and fair, transparent elections is what is going to cause tension across all countries where elections are being conducted. And we expect another problem, a tension, maybe even it reaches to a point where the army has to step in, because you know Guinea-Bissau is a very, very slippery place when it comes to military coups since the assassination of Amir Cabral.
So a story to watch for sure in the coming days. Let's move to Nigeria. I know that you have hardly anything positive to say there. about Nigeria, but there are growing concerns about media organizations, declining press freedom. What do you think fueling this concern, and what does it mean for Nigeria's democracy?
I don't know what you call democracy, Peter, but there is no democracy in a place called Nigeria. In political science, we call this type of state is a country without a country, a state without a state. That means all institutions in Nigeria have collapsed. They have gone kaput. There is nothing that you can say. Which type of country is this where you think the media can be respected when human rights are not respected, when children, young girls are being abducted, boys are being abducted? They come in a classroom and you have left your child in a class. You don't find your child. All over the whole place, human rights in Southeast. This country should go to its places. This country is Yugoslavia of Africa, of Europe. This country Yugoslavia caused us all these type of problems in Europe until it was separated and removed from each other. The Europe is stable. Countries have developed out of Yugoslavia. Nigeria was put together forcefully. Nigeria's behavior, it does not match the North, does not match the South. The West does not match the East. Let them go. They cannot hold it together. And Africans fear to talk about it. Our colonial boundaries are the ones bringing us the insecurity we see today. Christians being murdered on a daily basis. Muslims being killed. So what country is this, Peter? I just did. I don't have anything positive. Have you seen anything positive? You go with Nigerians to Dubai, they have a special line where they say you stand there and you other Africans, you go this way quickly. So what type of, you want me to say Nigeria has got one? There is nothing there. Let it go. Let it go. Let Africans stand up and speak like other people have spoken, like Obasanjo is speaking, saying we cannot hold it anymore. This state, is collapsed, is a pariah state. Thank you.
So let's go to Ghana now. The country's parliament is progressing towards something called the Lifestyle Audit Act, which could scrutinize the wealth and spending of public officials. How significant is this in the fight against corruption in West Africa? And I wonder, will there be any officials left in parliament after lifestyle audits?
Peter, what kills Africa? And you and I, we have been in this field looking for this, talking about corruption. You see, the corruption is the biggest problem that Africa faces. Corruption is the biggest obstacle, challenge that Africa has. Everywhere, across the board, in all African countries, we would have done very well if we killed this monster called corruption. You see, in Singapore, the prime minister there, put people on a firing squad. In Ghana, and they killed, even imprisoned his own brother for life. In Ghana, Rawlings put all the corrupt politicians on firing squad. You remember during Rawlings, you and I you were younger journalists. Some of us were already doing so many things. You remember Rawlings put people on a firing squad in Ghana to remove corruption. Ghana picked up. Later on, a man of the army changed Ghana's economy. Now, if you say you are going to do lifestyle audit, everybody will run and hide in Atlantic Ocean, down under the water. Then when things are done, they will come back. So I am telling you, Peter, life audit, who will be left? It's a good question here. President Mahama, my good brother, friend, a very good person. He listens to people. And he's doing this life audit to make sure that he gets rid of some of the expenditure, some of the corruption, that of the kickbacks that come as awarding contracts. So that is a correct move, but who will remain in the parliament? I think the parliament will remain empty.
And then in the Gambia, authorities say that they're temporarily hosting Cameroon opposition leader Issa Bakary on humanitarian grounds. What do you make of this, and what's the broader political significance of this move?
This also touches, Peter, with the first question of Guinea-Bissau. Every opposition political leader across Africa is running away because we have not reached a stage where we can accept that the winner has gone. Let's congratulate him, stay in the country, rearrange and see your party. So for me, I've told you as an African, a man who has experienced all these military coups, removal of Idi Amin ourselves, we fought him. I have been there from 1978. I've been in all these activities. I can see the difficulties of Africa. Unless Africa changes its mode, everybody. In Cameroon, for example, Mr. Paul Biya does not want to leave power. The Americans even call him and congratulate him. Yes, France calls him and congratulates him. Yet Mr. Paul Biya is he has killed over this place 600,000 people, killed 3,000, another 3,000, including my clients, are in jail. But they run to countries that have tried to bring some semblance of unity, like Tanzania. They are being harassed. Yet in southern Cameroon, there are people who cannot even eat, who have not eaten for the last 9 years. They are in the bushes. The children have never gone to school. So having asylum temporarily, that is another one. We are going to end up having very many asylum.
I'm gonna rush us because there's one thing I really do want you to address. There's a letter purportedly written by you to the International Criminal Court. Did you write this letter? And are you concerned about NGOs funding violence in Africa?
Yes, I wrote this letter. I did not write a letter. I notified the office of the chief prosecutor on the situation of Tanzania because I knew, I have been there, Peter, you know it. I am the only man south of Sahara that can conquer, that can speak my mind on the question as a legal mind of international law. I want to make it clear that I have been following the pattern of NGOs, foreign-funded NGOs, including one called AfriForm, which is in your country, that has brought chaos, that brings these wars across the region. Vanguard Africa, of Open Society Foundation of George Soros. I have not kept quiet to name them. Me and the George Soros, you don't put us in the same house and you find us alive. I don't like them. These are NGOs that fund chaos in the whole of Africa. Look at Tanzania. Look at Mozambique. Look at Kenya. Look at Uganda. Look at all the places where has been turmoil. These organizations are at the forefront, calling upon the younger people to be taken, go to the streets. Article 25 of 25C, 25D of the Roma Statute says criminal responsibility for those funding, assisting, equipping, and logistically arming.
Yeah, we're going to have to leave it there, Dr. Matsanga, but I think we're going to have another conversation on this, specifically on this issue, so that we have more time on it. So let's leave it there for the time being. I think we've whet the appetites of many listeners, and let's do a conversation, a proper one on this. But thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Peter, and thank you. Keep it going. I stand firmly behind anybody who wants to dismember Tanzania. I will fight, stand firm. The spirit of Nyerere lives in me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Matsanga. Right, it's 6:31 and a bit, which means it's time for your news headlines.
Dear Christian in the whole world and dear American President, dear European Union. This is Günther Fellinger-Jahn speaking. I'm calling here from Vienna to recognize the Republic of Biafra. Biafra in ex-Nigeria, Nigeria to my regret, yeah. And this is a non-working state, yeah. And they have committed genocide in 1967 to 1970 against the Christians of Biafra and the people of Biafra. And now they are all well, since the last 15 years, living in a terrible conditions. Yeah. They are often led for some jihadists to kill them. And there is atrocities about atrocities. And it's much better for the people of Nigeria if Biafra becomes their own state and they can sort out then inside Nigeria the other issues, or maybe there will be other regions which are better off in this non-working state of Nigeria. So ex-Nigeria must start with Biafra, and the international community, contrary to the 1960s and 70s, must support the independence of Biafra Republic. In the 1967-90, that tragic years, the West was at its weakest. There was the Vietnam War, and tragically Nixon, who was positive for the people of Biafra, but he did very little. And I want to apologize for his failures, and I want to especially criticize and also apologize for the Imperial UK and French governments who were actually supporting, due to all interests, Nigerian centralists crackdown on the poor people of Biafra. And we, as Christians, as Europeans, should absolutely stand with Biafra and support them. And that's why I call on President Trump and on the European leaders, Ursula von der Leyen, please, I beg you, I pray, recognize the Republic of Biafra. It's no need for military intervention or these things. Just do the political steps of recognition of these poor people to have their own state, to live in security. And of course, then recognition goes with the ability to be recognized and also to defend yourself. Yeah? It's much better than having a military intervention in Nigeria, having the Biafra Republic equipped and armed to be able to defend herself against the potential invasion from the Nigerian centralist forces of that failed state. And so here the defense comes with the recognition, and that's exactly how we should do. Biafra Republic, please, my friends, I beg you, recognize it and build a strong, viable state, part of the free world. And that's what I call the Fellinger doctrine and also the Fellinger economics. Yeah? Build a decent state, part of the free world, no BRICS, but OECD, no kind of alignment with genocidal Russia, but alignment with America, with the European Union, with the free world. And we will have a free trade agreement, open economics, of course the flat tax, I like very much, and the currency, which Nigeria never did, to join the Euro-Pact area. This is the best policy for West Africa, and Biafra will be a proud member of the Euro-Pact area, and this will be delivering much more prosperity in the future, and we will trade, and we will work together in the global partnership of NATO. And this is my call for Biafra Republic to be independent and to be part of the free world alongside Fellinger doctrine and Fellinger economics. And I thank you very much for your attention. Please, President Trump, please, Ursula von der Leyen, be on the side of the light, of the good people of Biafra, of the Christians of Africa, and allow them their own state to live in security and peace and prosperity. Thanks a lot from Vienna. This is Günther Fellinger-Jahn speaking. All the best. Bye.
So that is it. Everybody have heard everything this Dr. David Butanga said, and also this our man from Spain also talk about the Biafran and about Nigeria. So I would like to hear your comments down below. Like, subscribe, and share the video to go around. And comment what do you think about everything that has been going on in between Nigerian and in between the Biafran. Thank you for watching.